Hey, gun people. I'm gonna do I keep talking about when I got sued, and people keep asking me, tell us about when you got sued. So, all right, here's when I got sued as a cop. And I guess this will be a crazy cop story. So, if you look at one of the crazy cop stories, we're talking about where we're chasing these Nigerian gang members who are doing fraudulent checks and ripping off the county, and we chased them up and down through LA to San Francisco, Stockton. I mean, we went everywhere. So anyway, on this case, we end up doing a search warrant, or going to serve a search warrant in Oakland, California. Now, we didn't have enough to get a warrant because this guy was pretty slippery. In Oakland, California, if you've never been there, let me try to explain it so a fifth grader can understand it. It's run by the liberals, it's high unemployment, it's high black population, it's high crime and shooting, and it's high violence. So it's also high in cops that don't give a shit because they're dealing with shit all the time, 24/7. And because it's liberal, the cops are restricted and have rules, and they can't do anything and their hands are tied, so they really don't give a shit. So I think I kind of summed it up so most people can understand what it's like to go into Oakland as a cop and try to get help. But anyway, we go in here. So we have our suspect at his house, and we know that we can't go in a house. And I think I might have did a video on the Stagel warrant, and I might have talked about it then, but I'm not sure. But a Stagel warrant is, I can't go into your house without a warrant or consent or exigency. So unless I chase you into your house, if you're in your house, I can only get in there if you consent. There goes my hat again, blowing off, trying to block the wind. If you consent, or if I chase you as an exigency, or if I get a warrant. So what cops used to do is we would follow somebody with a warrant, and I say we, I don't think I've ever done this. Maybe I have, but I don't think I have. Follow somebody who I know, hey, that's so-and-so, man. He's got a warrant, he's got a felony warrant. I want to arrest him. Let's see where he goes. He's probably going to buy dope, sell dope, or get guns. So let's see where he goes, and we'll snag him after he gets in the house. So we follow him, knowing he's got a warrant. We let him go in a third party's house, and then we go, felony, exigent circumstances, we know he's got a warrant, we go kick the door, and we go arrest him. And because we arrest him, anything we see, we can seize. So when we arrest him, if there's a gun, if there's dope, if there's his buddies there who are on parole probation, now we get the whole house and it's good. So some people would say that's good creative police work. I kind of like it. The courts have said, hey, that violates the poor smuck that doesn't have a clue, because if me, a good guy, is at my house and I invite Billy Bob over, who I didn't know was a wanted felon, and he comes to my house, now they can kick my door and come to my house without a warrant to get Billy Bob in order to search my house when I didn't do anything and they have no really authority to search my house. So the court said you can't do that. So, and what happened with that is the guy sued, it was Stagel, his name was Stagel, which makes it a Stagel warrant. And now, cops, before you can go in a third party's house, you have to get a warrant to seize that body. So if you know there's somebody in a house that has a warrant, you can't kick the door and just go in and take him. You have to secure the house, go get a warrant. It's called a Stagel warrant. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to do. You write out probable cause. Hey, I got Billy Bob in the house. I know he's got a felony warrant. I watched him go in there. As he went in there, we went and knocked on the door. The owner said, fuck you, you ain't coming to my house. You ain't got a warrant. I need a warrant to go in this house to seize this fleeing felon. So then you get your Stagel warrant, and I can go to your house and I can go, I got a warrant. He can either come out or we're kicking the door or coming in and getting him. Now, if you make a cop go get a warrant for that, you know, the old saying, if you make a cop chase you, he's bringing an ass whipping with him. When you make a cop go get a warrant, I know it's constitutional. I know it's the right thing. I know it's the law, and I know cops should do it. But I'm just telling you reality. When you make a cop go through all this, when all they want is that one dude that you're in there protecting for a warrant, they're going to bring, I don't want to say a destructive search, but they're going to bring a heavy-duty search, and they're going to bring a big hammer with them. So, you know what? Cops carry around a hammer, and if you want to be a nail, go ahead. But I'm telling you. So, if you got somebody in your house that's got a warrant, you want to be able to say, dude, you got a warrant. You got to go outside and let them arrest you, or I'm going to tell them they can come in. I'm going to give them consent, and they're going to come in and arrest you. So you can either do that, or you can go, fuck you. You ain't coming in my house. He's in my house. Go pack sand. And the cop will go, no problem. Here's what they should do. No problem. Give me a unit on both sides of the house. We're securing the house. Nobody leaves. Nobody comes out. Rick, go cut a warrant. Go talk to a judge. Go get a DA, and let's get this warrant, and we'll come back. Cool, no problem. That's what should happen. All right. So, now, let me go back to that. So you're surrounding your house. You're watching, and all of a sudden, you see lights come on. You see scurrying. You see a guy run by a window with a gun, and you hear the toilet flushing. Now, cops can say, you know what? I think they're destroying evidence in there. Guess what? I can go in because of an exigency to prevent destruction of evidence, and now I can go in without a warrant because I have exigency. I don't need consent. Now I can go in there and I can lock everybody down till the warrant comes. Legal. Totally legal. I'm going to have to justify the exigency. I'm going to have to prove to the court what I saw, heard, smelled led me to believe that there was a crime in progress and I was going to lose evidence if I didn't go in right then. So, avoid, minus that exigency, you got to go get a warrant. So, we know about this. We even briefed it. The guy who was with us, it was 3 of us, and we told the other guy, look, dude, if we see the guy inside the house, remember, we can't go in. We got to talk our way in. We got to ask. We had this briefing. So we call Oakland PD. We go, hey, man, can we get a couple uniforms? We're about to hit a house, serve a warrant. We think the guy's in there. We got a felony warrant for him. We think he's at this house. We don't know if he lives there, but we want to make contact if he's in there. We're going to go get a Stagel warrant to go get him if they won't let us in, but we're going to need a couple units to help lock down the place. So Oakland sent a couple units. These 2 cops get out of the car and go, what's going on? We're like, hey man, we got a guy, we're going to make contact. We just need you kind of set a perimeter. We need you with your radio. In case we get in a shooting, in case we go on a pursuit, you know the area, we need your help. Well, you know, it's your warrant. We don't want to get involved. We'll hang out on a perimeter, and if something goes really bad, we'll help, but otherwise, we don't want to be involved. That's code for, I don't want to get a complaint, I don't want to do shit, and I don't want to have to write a report because I helped your ass. So if I can say that I just came here, did a citizen standby and gave officer assistant, outside agency assist, I don't have to cut paper. I can clear that on the radio and be gone. So that's what that was code for. So I figured, okay, I know what I got here. No problem. So they're kind of covering the perimeter of the house. We go knock on the door. I knock, blah, 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 police. Hey, we're looking for so-and-so. He ain't here. Get the fuck out of here. Did I say there was 3 or 4 black people in there? One woman was pregnant, you know, with her new welfare check waiting to come out. So she's in the house, and I think there might have been 2 women, but I can't remember. There was 4 or 5 people in the house. But one of the guys looked like our guy. So we're like, dude, what's your name? Fuck you, I don't have to give you my name. I'm in this fucking house. Get the fuck out of here. So we're like, well, this ain't good. And we look at him, so we're standing there talking, we're trying to get a better look. This is before cell phones. If it was cell phones, I'd have fucking took out my cell phone, snapped the picture, blew that shit up, and could have got a good positive ID, or at least been able to justify in the lawsuit that's about to come on why we believe this was him. But it still wouldn't have mattered, because we were wrong. Well, we weren't wrong. The guy that went in was wrong. So, we're at the front door. We already know we can't go in. It's a third party's house. We don't know, but the guy's in there, and we're like, dude, that's our guy. So we're like, okay, you're going to jail. So we're like, all right, we'll go get a Stagel warrant. Screw it. We'll just secure the place and lock it down. Well, the guy we were with wasn't too hip on waiting and standing around in the middle. You know, this is probably 11 o'clock midnight. We're running this case 24/7. So we're late. We're tired. He's like, I don't want to wait 3 hours for you to go wake up a judge, wake up a DA, write this out, get it signed, and get back here. Fuck that. So in his mind, he's like, hey, you, what are you reaching for? Is that a weapon in your pants? And he draws his gun and goes in. Well, I'm standing there, and again, cops do not have, I don't have to see the threat. Cops are allowed to believe that what another officer reactions or what he does is reasonable, and I can react to what the officer does. I don't need to see what the officer does. So if a guy in a car has a gun in his lap, and an officer walks up and goes, gun, and draws his gun, I don't have to say, hey, I didn't see the gun, I can't do anything, I'm just standing here. Because he said gun and he saw a gun, I'm allowed to draw my gun and assume that there's a gun in there and take reasonable steps. Well, when this guy goes, hey, what's that in your waistband? In my head, I'm like, oh shit, this ain't going good, but you know, what can you do? It just happened like that. So he goes in the house. Well, shit. I gotta follow him. I can't let him, if he did see a gun, if there is a gun, he's going to get shot. I don't want to have him shot with me outside saying, oh, I couldn't go in, I had to wait for a warrant, I'm being a good cop, it's his constitutional right. I didn't want to be saying all that bullshit. I had to cover his ass, so I went in. Well, when I went in, our supervisor who was with us was like, shit, I gotta go in. So we all three go in the house. Well, shit, it's a fan. The pregnant woman jumps on him, end up knocking her off. We end up fighting, getting the guy, handcuffing. Wrong dude. It ain't the guy. So this is when the pucker facker hits and everybody goes, oh shit, this ain't good. Oakland PD's outside doing this whole time, and as soon as they see all this shit go down, they go, you know what? We got another call, we're out of here. So they leave. So they don't want to get in any paperwork, they don't want to be any witnesses. They said, we didn't say shit, we were on that side of the house, we didn't see nothing. They're out of there. So we're like, shit, now what do we do? So we end up hooking the guy for resisting, booking him. We end up booking the girl because she jumped on his back and was assaulting an officer, which was all legal. They shouldn't have done that, but the guy went in, and I don't think he should have, and I think it was bullshit. But what can I do? I couldn't argue that fact at the time. So we went in, we did what we had to do, and later we got called on the carpet and like, you knew you had to get a Stagel warrant, you know you're better than that, I can't believe you went in. I was like, dude, what do you want me to do? A cop went in and said he saw a gun, you want me to stand outside and argue with him? Well, and now he's getting sued, and now we got to settle, and the county ended up throwing $5 grand at them each, and they went away. So, I mean, that's the lawsuit. It wasn't my money. I didn't get anything out of it. Wasn't no big deal. Me and my supervisor kind of got questioned. Hey, you guys should have known better. You shouldn't have followed him in. As cops, we both knew that's freaking stupid. You can't just leave a guy hanging because you know he's wrong. Yeah, because if he's right and he gets killed, then you got to justify why you weren't there, and you'll be on the carpet for that. Again, that weighing that citizens rarely see when shit hits a fan on the factors that cops have to consider when we're out there making these split-second decisions and dark at night when you're tired and low light and it's life or death, and we're making those decisions with case law and policy and who's violating and what law. We're making these decisions like that. And then 3 weeks later, after 14 lawyers and 2 DAs and 3 judges talk about the shit, they go, you know what, that was a bad decision. You shouldn't have done that. Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. If you want to come out there with us and do a warrant, knock yourself out. So that's the incident where I got sued. They paid him some money. I didn't care. I didn't like they paid him money. I thought it was bullshit. I didn't want my name on a lawsuit that was paid out because it makes us look bad. They're like, look, they're just crying. They just want some money. Throw them some money. They're black. They'll play the race card. You know, if we don't throw them some money, it'll be a big incident. You guys should have got a Stagel warrant. We're not sure if this guy did see a gun. We're not sure if he went in. Of course, his whole story the whole time was, hey, he was reaching, he was being uncooperative. I thought he had a gun. I had to go in for officer safety. I didn't buy it. My supervisor didn't buy it. But we had to do what we had to do. Right or wrong. I mean, there's going to be people that are saying, you cops don't follow the Constitution. You're all dirty. Whatever. Look, you got to do shit on the fly. Sometimes it's not the optimal, perfect situation. You know, if we could sit back and plan it out and have coffee and donuts for 2 days before we went out and handled everything, then I would agree. You need to hold us to a pretty high standard and not accept bullshit. But when you send us out there to situations that we have no clue what we're facing and we could die and our main goal is not to die, then you got to cut us some slack when we make a mistake, when it's not intentional and malicious and we're not getting personal gain from it. We didn't get anything from that. I mean, I didn't care if the guy was in there. I would go get a warrant. I was like, what did I care? You're acting like I wanted to run in this house. Because, you know, they're questioning us. They're doing the IA. They're all trying to make everybody the bad guy, trying to get us to turn. Isn't it true? He didn't see a gun. I don't know what the hell he saw. All I know is what he said, and I followed him in because I wasn't leaving him hanging. So if you're going to screw me, well, then knock yourself out. I did what I had to do. And so, and again, nobody got any paperwork. I think that guy ended up quitting or was going to get fired, so he quit or just said fuck. I don't remember. But whatever. I mean, to this day, I don't believe he saw something. I think he was like, shit, I don't want to wait for 2 hours, so I'm going to create an exigency and I'm going to go in. Was it right? No. Was it wrong? Yeah. Did I know that? Could I do anything different? Maybe. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, didn't. But hey, the county paid out $5 grand. It wasn't my money. I didn't get any discipline. And I think I did the right thing. And if I had to do it again today, I would do the same thing. That's the problem with this, is people always want to tell cops how they're wrong and blah. If you gave them the same situation, they're probably going to do the same thing because they didn't have a choice. Now, sometimes when the cops are wrong, they do. This guy who ran in, maybe he would do it different. Maybe he would say, you know what, this probably wasn't worth making up this exigency. We should have just shut the door, walked away. If I saw a gun, I should have drew my gun and go, hey man, I think he's got a gun. Let's expand our perimeter, lock this down, and go get the warrant. Maybe he should have done that if he saw something. But once he crossed that threshold and went into dangerous territory where he was outnumbered with a possible weapon, I feel me and the ICE supervisor had no choice but to follow him in and take action. And of course, Oakland PD stood on the outside where we're fighting these five, hooking everybody up and doing all that shit. Didn't come in, didn't say shit, didn't call out, nothing. When we came out and had people hooked up, they were like, okay man, looks like you guys got it, we're out of here. We got another call. And they left. So thanks OPD. Not the first time I've dealt with OPD that way, and I can't blame them because they get beat up all the freaking time because the whole city's downtown crime central heaven is all black, and they're always getting shit because they're arresting black people. Well, when you're, I mean, if you're fishing in a pond and there's only bass in the pond, you can't be blaming your fishing lure for catching a bass. If there's only bass in the pond, you're gonna catch a bass. But, you know, freaking liberals, they want to make everything freaking about color, hiding the issue, and don't want to admit that they're bad people or whatever. Anyway, all right, that's my crazy cop story. End that there.